Since the Russian full-scale invasion of 2022, there's been an uptick in people online trying to mischaracterize or stereotype all Ukrainians into being nothing but racists or secret white supremacists. I wanted to interview someone trying to fight this. Meet Alice and her organization, the TOZHSAMIST Project. They explicitly aim to do just that, recognizing the country's diversity and giving a voice to those who often go unheard in today's media landscape. I was lucky enough to interview her here in Lviv. We chatted about her project, her research, and her life experiences growing up in Ukraine. Enjoy. So, I know, but who are you?
Ukrainian. Yeah. Right now, I recognize myself like a social entrepreneur, but actually I do a lot of different things, researches, and after full-scale invasion, I've been a social researcher in an international NGO. I learned experience of Ukrainian refugees, and then my contract ended, and I started to do only my own social initiative about diversity and national identity in Ukraine, in Ukrainian society, and it's involved in researches and content creating and writing, of course, because you have to present your research, and some type of innovations, because you always have to be creative and use technologies. For example, right now when we have crisis and we need to explore our like researchers, for example, our conclusions, our thoughts for wide audience. So you have to use technologies. So it's like intersections of different skills, and I think I can. Thank you. I think I can just recognize myself like a social entrepreneur, to be, to be like for people to be more understandable, but it involves different things, include different things, maybe. Maybe it's correctly to say include different things.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Your work involves a lot.
Yes.
What initially made you want to share your journey with your own self-identity?
By the way, I didn't share my journey of my self-identity. I didn't share. I share other stories, because I think other stories more, like, maybe not more important, but stories of like big amount of people, plural amount of people, more interesting than one story. So that's why I don't focus on my project, for example. I don't focus on my own story and my own experience. I focus on others in Ukraine and others, nations, ethnicities, races who live here. And it can be African, Ukrainian people, or people with Asian roots, people with Caucasian roots, Caucasian roots. It's like from Dagestan, for example, Kazakhstan, and people with. Right now, I'm going to have a dialogue with Palestinian Ukrainians girls. Yes, it's about them. Sorry.
What is it like for you to have headed this, to have started this during the full-scale invasion? What does it mean to you?
For me, it's like maybe I will say it and it will be very like тут я краще відповім українською мовою. I will respond in Ukrainian language.
Of course, absolutely.
Можливо, це буде дуже самовпевнено, але для мене це бути частиною та якоюсь, я дуже сподіваюся, позитивною частиною майбутніх змін взагалі у світопорядку, в новій світовій системі, тому що зараз, на думку багатьох експертів, наприклад, Ніла Фергюсона, змінюється світова система і змінюються правила, стандарти, ідеї, цілі, цінності, які в кожній світовій системі поєднані. І в Україні, я дуже сподіваюся, може бути місце для кожного, місце, де кожен зможе відчувати себе як вдома, тому що це вже так є. І тому що Україна ніколи не була колоніальною державою, вона ніколи не колонізувала інших народів. І чомусь так сталося, що про це ніхто не знає в Європі. Дуже мало країн в Європі, понад декілька, які ніколи не колонізували. Україна одна з них, і вона при цьому вміщує себе вже існуючі історичні народи, як караїми, як кримські татари, як євреї, які вже жили і співіснували. І зараз я просто підсилюю та підсвітлюю цю історію України для того, щоб в майбутньому ми могли вже мати цю цінність та жити разом. З ким хочемо, як хочемо, різні люди, жити комфортно та позитивно. It was very long, I know.
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, speak as long as you'd like, yeah.
But yes, it's very simple, but very hard question at the same time. So, yes, sorry.
I try to make my questions a little good, so try to get that.
It's a good question, but very, yes.
Involved answer, yeah.
Yes, can be short answer here because for me it's really something very, very big and the part of my life. This is a part of my life, and not because of my professional opportunity, because this is my experience plus injustice that I see in the world, and especially right now when Russia invaded so you know, so I don't know, did so much destructive things, and at the same time they trying to push narratives about decolonizing and peace. And I see big injustice here, and I can live with it in the world when some country can just broke international rules, broke morality, broke legal and legal justice and social justice, and just did a lot of pain to people who did nothing, just for something. And yes, my life in this world will be like not completed, not maybe my feel from this world will be not completed if I will not say and will not do nothing against it.
Yes.
And just be silent against it, silence with it. That's why I say this is part of my life, not because I just trying to do research and that's it.
Of course.
Yes.
That's why you wanted to make your organization in general, right?
Yes, of course.
To show and highlight this. And it's TOZHSAMIST, right? That's the proper pronunciation, or am I a little off? It looks like I'm very off.
This is very hard to pronounce
okay.
for foreigners, and I'm sorry for it,
no,
guys.
No.
But this word that it had to be a title for organization, and you can pronounce it like TOZHSAMIST.
TOZHSAMIST? TOZHSAMIST.
Yes. TOZHSAMIST, it's togetherness, identity, and different translations can be, and self-identity. Yes, you can pronounce it how you pronounce. It's okay, or you can say, I think maybe identity, identity in it. So maybe I will sing about it, because I know that all foreigners just trying to read and they don't understand how to read it and then how to pronounce it. Yes.
TOZHSAMIST has connected you with a lot of different Ukrainians, necessarily. What are some of the biggest things you've learned from them?
I learned, I think I learned a lot from experiences of their family, and I understood how long time we, like for example, Crimean Tatar in Crimea, they lived like a few generations, like 3 generations lived under oppress, very hard oppress, very, very harmful, and they handled it, survived, and some of them, for example, ADE, which was a hero from my project, she awesome talented fashion designer, she is awesome talented artist. They didn't lose themselves in this oppression, in this and a lot of people like this, and all Ukrainians like this, not only diverse Ukrainians, ethnical Ukrainians, but Ukrainians with different backgrounds and with Ukrainians roots. We all like this because we all of us was under oppression. But specifically from from heroes of my project, I learned, I learned how they perfectly saved humanity under oppression, how they perfectly, their families, for example, Crimean Tatar families, they saved dignity, respect to other people, and right now they can represent Ukraine in a wonderful way, in just so beautiful way, because they made a lot of cool things here, and I think this is the biggest thing that inspire me and make me feel very proud and honored that I'm a part of it, of this society.
Something that you have to share that in this moment, and that's what I've felt traveling through Ukraine, or even being in Kharkiv, which is has a good amount of diversity there with other people. Ukraine seems to welcome all who want to be a part of it. Is that a correct statement?
Yes, of course, against Russians.
Of course.
No, I mean, not against, how I forgot this word.
Accept.
Accept,
Yeah.
yes. Yes, before full-scale invasion, by the way, we could accept Russians, even after 2014, which means that Ukrainians very friendly. Ukrainians was very, you know, like, not all of us, but mostly Ukrainians accepted Russians, and we could communicate, we could like have, because we had this relationship, yes. This relationship was, it was fake relationships, it's not brotherhood, how people say around. It's not brotherhood, but we was a long time together, and we just used to be together, and we had one language, and we, you know, accepted them even after 2014, but after 2022, it's impossible to do. Even for me, with I have relatives in Russia, but I don't talk to them anymore, and a lot of people like this in Ukraine. We just don't talk, and that's it. I don't know, maybe later, maybe, but now and in the closer future, I just can't do this. And yes, we are very friendly to all people, and we was friendly to Russians as well. After Holodomor, after repressions, and after 2014 even. But yes, now accept Russians.
Of course.
That's it.
No way to do so, absolutely.
That's whole world, whole world can come to Ukraine, and we are welcome.
Which of your interviews stuck with you the most? Or had the most impact?
I think it was the story of Idea, which I mentioned before, because this story was not just about her life. This story was about her grandfather, you know, like grandparents, and like few generations of her family. And it was, for me, it was so important to understand this, you know, zoom out and understand perspective and the timeline, and how this the same powers, the same aggressor, let's say, impacted on the different generation, from grandparents to parents to her and her daughter, and her two daughters actually, and son right now. So this is like insane.
Yeah.
People can live, even like modern generation from 19th century to nowadays. People can live the life they want to live in their land. This is insane. It was for me, like, understand how long it's going on. So
how long, especially with Crimean Tatar, how much they've been targeted, you know,
yes.
Mass deportations by Russians, and now we see footage coming out that's horrendous. So
yes,
I one day hope to be able to walk in Crimea, in a free Crimea, and
yes,
talk with
me
people.
too.
So
I can. It's a very beautiful land,
Yeah.
wonderful land, and Crimean Tatars. I don't know how they really save humanity, because I've been to Crimea, and I remember how Crimean Tatars, they are super friendly. They are very, very like simple, not quiet, not quiet. Sorry, not loud. Very modest people in their own land.
Yeah.
Yes, because I think because of they are very kind, and also because they are still, maybe not all of us understand, but we all, especially Ukrainian Tatars who faced this forced deportation, they still
Traumatized.
traumatized. They're still traumatized.
With all of your interviews you've done with your organization, you've had now hopefully Ukrainian attention to some of these stories, but international or global attention as well. What has been the response from international peoples and Ukrainians about your work?
Different responses I got, but mostly it was positive responses. Mostly people was very involved in the stories, and people, readers who really read interviews and following the project, they waiting for new interviews, asking about it, and I understand why, because when you have a lot of information, especially around some world's important topic, like in general, this is a very important topic for all the world, and around this topic, a lot of speculations, a lot of disinformation, misinformation, and just a lot of content. And when people face this amount of content, and plus they have to identify which type of content they can trust, and what content they cannot trust. They feel like tired and just maybe in the same time disappointed. But when you have interview with particularly people from inside, who are, you can find them in social media and understand that this is real people, and who are also created by someone from inside. And me, like a Ukrainian of color, I interview other Ukrainians with different backgrounds, so it's like I don't have I don't have purpose here. I can have different purpose. Oh, absolutely. I can be, of course, in our day we understand we can be paid by someone, if so on. But people understand that probably when I am talking about diversity, I'm talking about diversity because I had experience, and because I want to live I'm going to live later in Ukraine, and I want to live in the country which will be home for future generations, for maybe we'll have migrants from other countries later. Ukrainians will come back to Ukraine who are refugees. Maybe they had different relationship in different countries, and we have to be open, and we're right now open, but we have to build these values with a statement, because we don't have actual statement about diversity. Just, I don't know how. Like society not so diverse like the United States, because of different history, no colonialism and so on. But you can meet different people anyway in the street, and these people very acceptable, yes,
Accepting?
accepting,
Accepting of someone?
accepting, yes, and they can live and feel like at home. But we don't have politically, we don't have statement about diversity. We don't have statement about differences of something. Just, I don't know, our politics and other. We don't have it because we don't have multiculturalism, because multiculturalism shaped after colonialism in the country when they had colonies and a lot of ethnicities, races there right now. They have this statement in the policy. In Ukraine, another situation, and our government didn't do any project in this way. So that's why I started this initiative, like to make this statement, to talk to people, and trying to build this value on the some material, not just you know, some conversation in air. I'm trying to make material, and then I will publish a book with these interviews, by the way, in the future.
That would be very cool. So
Thank you.
I would definitely buy a copy. So
Thank you
only
so
if you
much.
sign it, though. So do you hope that your project will lead to a government change or legislation one day?
I hope my project will impact on the future generation, and I hope my project will be like a documenting material for understanding how beautiful society of Ukraine was in this time. But I don't think about government at all. I'm trying to make change through people through, you know, like intellectuals. But government, they have to initiate. I think they know about the project, and they have to initiate their interest. I don't do this for them. I do it for people who live now here and who will live in the future.
You mentioned that you want to eventually compile these stories into a book.
Yes.
What else do you see the future of your project being?
Very interesting question, because this is hard to right now to plan something. I don't know. I hope this project will be after the book we will have community, and I will try to make something like community with advocacy on diversity, anti-racism maybe, and another positive goals. But also I sometimes thinking about like social lab or something, because in our world we have different things which make public crisis right now. Not just crisis, public crisis. We have social problems, psychological problems, and political. Right now we have crisis in different continents, and I know that in Ukraine, a lot of intellectuals, they're trying to make something by themselves to change, you know, different problems in Ukraine, but with impact outside, because you always have impact outside, because we are living in one planet, and we always impact on each other. But in Ukraine, I think very interesting to find people who who just think the same thinkers, and build maybe from other experiences, like a community of active people. It's not will be only with focus on diversity or focus on violence or focus on oh my God, let's say ecological problems. I forgot the translation that I wanted to say, but yes, I hope this project can be the part of something, some like construction, which can make positive changes, positive culture of Ukraine, because we have to build like maybe in some way new system, apart system from governance, not centralized and not ruled by someone. I don't know how it's going to be monetized, how it's going to be funded. I don't know right now, but in the future, I'm thinking about that. We right now have to live in the world that will be wars. I feel so, and our problems, issues in the world will be wars, and we have to make some platform to go through this time. But this is like a global thinking. Just right now I have to collect interviews, make a book, and then I going to make just community of around my topic, and then maybe it can be something bigger.
It can move to a different, or to a bigger stage, you know, regional and then global, and who knows then, right?
Yes, I hope so.
Of course. Yeah. You had mentioned that you had not shared a lot of your story,
Yes.
being a Ukrainian of color here. Would you like to do that a little bit here today?
Yes, we can.
Of course. So, growing up in Kharkiv, it's you had a little bit more diversity there because of the university, correct? People have came in to learn from different areas.
Yes.
What was it like to grow up in Kharkiv?
I love this question because I love to ask the same question, and I love my childhood. By the way, it was for me. It was very cool. I don't know why, because I don't think because Kharkiv a wonderful place. I actually don't find Kharkiv like some like I respect this like my hometown. Of course, I respect. I have nostalgia, but I know that Kharkiv have to be modernized, have to be more developed, and for next generation kids, it have to be better. But in my childhood, it was much simpler than Kharkiv right now. You always had to be very creative to spend the time outside because we didn't have, you know, like spots, like kid spots, which was very attractive for us. Or let's say I was living I lived in an industrial neighborhood. It's not just close to the forest, close to the parks, close to the lake or river. It was industrial neighborhood, just buildings and roads, and that's it. And even with this, my childhood, I find it was very interesting because we always I mean, my friends, I had a lot of friends, two of them still a friend of mine. We'll have friendship around like, one of them I think like 20 plus years, because we was met in the playground when we was, I don't know, 1-2 years old. And We was together always, and we was very creative to, build our interesting world when we wanted to be involved and play and develop skills. And yes, it always everything was made by us. By I don't know. Sometimes I feel so. Disappointed from my English language because I can explain and can express everything, and I lack of language here, and I can say the words that I wanted to say. It's about how some trees, that we made by ourselves, or different big toys that we made by ourselves. So it was like this. It was simple, without internet. Minimum of TV. We had TV. We watched American cartoons and so on. But somehow it was minimum TV in my childhood, and a lot of time I spent outside with friends, and I love it. It was a nice time. Yes.
Growing up there, being Ukrainian of color, did your identity ever come up as a kid? Were you ever, did kids ever look at you differently who were more ethnically Ukrainian or Russian? Or?
Of course. Here I can say, I can idolize, idolize here and say, no, I felt like absolutely like Ukrainian girl, and people or kids didn't identify me like a girl of color. Of course not. It's not like this. And this is, I find it is like something natural, because when you're in the table, when you have 3 or 4 red apples and 1 green apple, you will understand that this is different apples, different colors. And it was in my childhood. It's early 2000. I think me was only one in the school who was girl of color, and of course I felt that I'm different, and of course, I faced racism. Yes, I faced some type of racism, like some type of discrimination. Let's say, when someone could say something, but it was, for example, let's say, when I describe racism, I want to people understand, especially people of color, people who can discriminate it. From racists, that all my childhood, for example, I faced racism not often, and people around me, I think maybe 90+% of them not discriminate me, and 5% or something could discriminate me in school and, for example, outside of school. And it was, yes, it was because low education and not experience. Because when you live in Brooklyn and you kids and you see a lot of people with a dark skin from your childhood, of course you will understand the situation. But in the Soviet Union, people, they faced students from Africa only, but not all of them, and not every day. You don't have this experience every day to look into otherness. And sometimes when you're low educated and you don't have quality якісного виховання, I will say in Ukrainian language, you can react like racists, unfortunately. That's why we have to in Ukraine, in every country, when not diverse, not big level diversity with different nations and races population, we have to always talk to kids that people are different. Right now, situation much better because of this.
Of course.
But when you had only TV and maybe your parents who are from Soviet time was not very educated as well and had no experience as well, you can react like racist. So that's about my experience. But my identification was always like Ukrainian, but other Ukrainian. Yes, I identify that I am not like everyone, and maybe it was mostly not because of my skin color. It was mostly because of my hair, because my hair was always very, very African, and I wanted straight hair from my childhood. I remember how I wanted to make hair dresses,
Like a hairstyle?
like white girls, because I looked in the playground, I looked in the different styles, and I wanted like, Mom, I want to have hair like this, because I want these hair accessories and braids, and my mom like, we can't do this because your hair structure another, we just can't. And my mom was very creative to make something with my hair, something interesting always but I understood that I want to change my hair. Maybe this make me right now have straight hair, you know. No, sometimes I have African hair right now, but mostly I feel maybe more like I like myself with the straight hair from my, I think, this trauma in the. I don't think this is a trauma, but it was like disappointed of my my nature in some way. So, and I have to work with this, I think. But right now I feel like I love myself, but I prefer straight hair.
Of course, yeah.
But that's only one. I don't think that something else make me feel like I want to cut from myself. Like I don't want to some African parts. I don't want to be with it. I think my skin color actually. I didn't use shame about my skin color, never. And maybe from some period of time, maybe from 18, 19 years old, I wanted to be darker, by the way. I don't know why, but maybe because of high fashion influence on me, because a lot of supermodels was in those periods of time. They started to build Naomi Campbell, the first one, but then from Naomi Campbell, when I was teenager, a lot of dark-skinned supermodels happened, and I wanted to be more darker than I'm right now. So it's like, for me, it's my skin color. I love it. I always was okay with it.
Yes. That's a powerful thing to hold on to. Taking on this project, you said that it was it's something you felt you needed to do, partially because you also experienced what a lot of these people would have experienced. You've talked with a lot of people from Kharkiv who've also had African roots as well. Do you see this population returning to Ukraine in the future? Do you think more immigrants will come to Ukraine to fill in space, to move here and enjoy a good life?
Very hard question. I think I don't know. I don't know because I can answer instead these people. I can answer for these people. I think Ukraine made a mistake with not dignity evacuation of African students in the start of the war, and not only not actually Ukraine. It was a mistake of train train company workers. And of course it was a racism, and they had to change this mistake, but they still didn't do anything to change this mistake. And unfortunately, our neighbors, who are absolutely professional in propaganda, they are really professional. That's one thing that Russians do perfectly. They do perfectly all type of information. Professional historical narratives, professional philosophy, professional narratives for news, and they can do it so genuinely that people who are even people in Ukraine, like I was born in a city close to Russian borders, and I even never know about a lot of things which was fake, absolutely fake, from our history with Russia and so on, because this propaganda is super quality, and they make a lot of news, a lot of they still do something with this situation, with evacuation situation, for African population, for African countries, Spanish language countries, and people around the world who have not Slavic roots, to represent all Ukrainians like racist, nazist. All population in Ukraine expect me, and as well as me and my friends, my family, for example, and other people who are heroes of TOZHSAMIST can be another people of different ethnicities, different races in Ukraine, all we like racists. And this is something that I don't know how to change, because I have no this power like Russia, and I don't going to do propaganda anyway. But somehow we have to change it, and somehow we have to make people know. For example, all people who I hope by the way, I hope I understand your question correctly. You're asking about these people, not Ukrainian refugees.
Correct.
About Africa, for example. Yes. People who going to be students in the future in African countries, they have to divide, they have to identify propaganda and fake news, and they have to understand genuinely information. But I don't know how to do it right now, because they already had this information with proof. And right now even my project for them can be sometimes not enough, because something bad always more important than something good, something negative more important, one negative story more important than 10 positive stories.
Absolutely.
So I hope it will be better in the future. I hope my project and maybe some other projects and initiatives in Ukraine make these people feel think another way and feel more safe about Ukraine and Ukrainians. And but also we have to ask governments about their plans, how they're going to change this mistake, and how they're going to build diplomacy, advocacy, policy in the future to represent Ukraine. How is it really, and represent Ukraine how we want to be in the future, because now I don't remember any governance initiative. So I think it can be, it will change situation. It can be very helpful, and yeah, that's it.
I do think that Russians in particular are very good at propaganda and everything, which especially is harmful for students from Africa who want to come here because of Russia's legacy in Africa, supporting warlords in Central African Republic and military juntas in other areas. So
Yes.
but I do think that projects and things will have a brighter future, and hopefully those students will be able to come here and learn a bit more. So
I don't know, because right now, this situation with the Middle East, they represent themselves again in this conflict, like anti-colonial, anti-imperial power that want to help to Palestinians, but they don't care about Palestinians at all. Like they don't care about Africans and all of people in Middle East, because this is just a geopolitical trick to make support, have support. To be more powerful against the United States and other power, but not be really the fundamental power for positive changes in this region or positive changes in the world. This is what I think a lot of people in Middle East and Africa don't understand, because they think that, like people in Cuba, they think enemy of our enemy, this is our friend, and that's it. And I don't know how to change it, because this is very complicated, especially right now with the Palestinian Israel conflict.
of course, the old saying, "Cursed to live in interesting times." So
Yes.
I wanted to move on and ask you a little bit about your recent trip to New York, and why you were there, and because you wanted to do different research into Ukrainian diaspora, and to I believe you had written somewhere to even look into African American culture and some aspects there. Could you talk about what inspired you to do this?
My trip to New York was planned maybe a half year before I came there. Like I know that my contract with organization will end in this time, and I wanted to come to New York to spend time, have a work there, have ability and some opportunity, just very simple things for all of us. And when I have the crisis in my country, and I don't know what will be in the future. Right now I don't have de facto, de jure, I have address and I have my home, but de facto I don't have home. I'm like a homeless de facto, because I can't come back to the Kharkiv, because it's very dangerous part of the Saltivka where I'm from, and I don't know what to do in my life, so I have to just survive and collecting money maybe for the future property where I'm going to live. And I wanted to come to the United States because it seems like more opportunity, and you can find quality jobs there. dignity job and yes, earning just finances for the future, but and also have education, but education was just like a second purpose, but closer to the date of visiting America, I understood that I feel like I don't want to come back, or I don't want to I want to come back. I don't want to be a long time there. So I thought like maybe I will come for the maximum a year. Maybe it will be half of the year, and I didn't had plan. Just again work, maybe education, and then because why? So because the situation in Ukraine was very different every month. When I planned my trip, it was before blackouts. When then blackout started, and very harmful attack on Ukraine, massive attack. It was a hard period. Then something inspired me in Ukraine, and normal period started, and I wanted to change my purpose on this trip, and I think in the springtime before the trip I figure out that I want to do. I figure out that I want to not to work. I want to I want to make research, and then maybe I will be working there. So I wanted to understand diversity and coexisting and multiculturalism and all of this, that I don't have a lot of examples in Ukraine and don't have this expertise in Ukraine with it. I wanted to learn from the United States, because the United States most diverse place in the world, especially in New York City. And then I came, and I understand that my understanding of diversity and my theoretical understanding and my practical experience of diversity in the United States, it's different, because I thought that people coexist there very peacefully. I thought that people coexist there with this high values. Just this idea, this perfect day has crashed, and then you understand that diversity there is more like a perfect conception, theoretical conception about diversity, equality, inclusion, or equity, equality, inclusion. It's like theoretical conception that they try to practicize, and they make it practical, but anyway, injustice and unfair there exists because this was fundamental parts of their just state's history from the start. And here we didn't have these things from the start, this injustice thing when someone was slaves. Even in Ukraine we had slavery, but it was like Russian Empire made us slavery, and we was colonial for Russia. So here I understand African American people because we were suppressed. It's like just captive nation understanding. We are captive nation and African American people as well, and Indian people as well, and Mexican. And right now, this situation in the United States, for me, not only for me, for people who I talk to, African American people or people who from Central America, dark-skinned people from Central America, they say that society is still injustice. Society is still unfair, and when you're trying to understand diversity in this society, you faced with not perfect conception of this, not perfect existence of this conception. In reality, then you understand that diversity is a more like corporative thing. It's not about just relationships in the street. It's about corporative rules for companies and so on and so on. It's something. It's next level, by the way. It's something formal. And in Ukraine, I can, even if I had some courses in Ukraine, I cannot use it. These courses will be useless for me because we don't have this amount of different races and ethnicity, because we don't have calendar to use these corporative rules in our company, for example. So I'm more about diversity like a conception, which about coexisting with people who all of us was captive, all of us was oppressed. And they're more about conception as to how we can change our relationship with people who we are oppressed before. So it's like totally another. And that's why I turned on learn Ukrainian diaspora, because I understand diversity here. To learn for me will be hard, and it's another context, another history, and I started to use diversity from the start, but in Ukraine, like in Ukrainian context, not from American context, with their rules, their details, and so on. And Ukrainian diaspora, for me, this is a part of diversity, because when we're talking about diversity, or not like this, diversity, when we're talking about identity, Ukrainian identity, we're talking about people who identify themselves like Ukrainian, who have this ethnicity, this race people, and diaspora, and people who live in New York, Canada, Australia, Netherlands, France, Italy. They migrated. It was mostly forced migration from aggression, from Stalin epoch, Empire epoch. They migrated from Ukraine a long time ago. Like Ukrainians, but they are, for example, born in Brooklyn, born in Ottawa, and so on and so on. But they feel like Ukrainians. They know Ukrainian language. They follow in Ukrainian narratives, culture, and I think they are also part of Ukrainian nation, of Ukrainian diversity, because diversity is about different people with one identification. For me, I mean, in Ukrainian context, you know, or even sometimes people cannot identify like Ukrainian. For example, Etiye, she identifies herself like Crimean Tatar. She say like, I'm a Crimean Tatar, I'm not Ukrainian, but she accept Ukrainian, she involved in Ukrainian world. with her Crimean Tatar history, culture, and so on. And this is also the the thing. But yes, probably I want to make conclusion that diversity. Diversity can be global. Diversity, like a concept, like a phenomenon, can be one for all of nations. Different history, different geography, different diversity, different terminology even can be different. That's what I understand, and that's what made me think to learn about diaspora, because diaspora thinks for me like a part of this concept,
Okay.
and that's what make me feel important to learn this concept in Ukrainian, or this concept, yes, in Ukrainian context. And I came back from the United States because I don't need to be here to learn anymore, to learn diversity, to learn about equity and inclusion, because this is another society as well, with their rules and their experience. I need to know it. I have to know it, because this is our in general, this is a one world, but in my practice in Ukraine will be. And the Ukrainian diaspora as a part of Ukrainian identity for me, and Ukrainian diversity, and I learned about it when I was there.
Very last thing, is there anything to whomever may watch this that you want to speak about, whether it is about your work, about Ukraine, about who you are?
I don't know.
That's also totally fair. So
I don't know what to say. I think I say it's enough.
yeah, that's also good. Yeah.
I think I say it's enough.
Yeah.
I just want to say that please keep eye on different activities, events which right now happen in our world, and effects on our future, because we have this, even from people from different continents, but we have the same world, the same future. And I think I feel like our kids can ask us after all of these events, what did you done? What have you done? Sorry, what was your voice like? Because I said to my friends, close friends, after Palestine and Israel this month's event, I say that later I'm very interested how different nations, tourists of different backgrounds, going to meet in a lover space, some room, to absorb the art, something perfect, something wonderful and timeless. But these people probably will be from different countries, of different religions, different descents. How they're going to be in the same room and feel respect each other, to coexist in the even small place together for some period of time. Like we're going to meet in the Louvre. Our kids going to meet in the Louvre tomorrow, and we have to always be focused on the crisis, even if it can be hard. I understand that people probably far away from crisis spot, they want to live their life, and they have to live their life, and they have to. I'm very happy they can live a happy life without air alerts, explosions, without risk. But our world in the one planet, in the same planet,
Yes.
and we have minimal responsibilities that we can have. It's just being focus and analyze and listen voices from the field, not a lot of news. Listen to yes, Ukrainian voices, Palestine's voices, Israel's voices. And if you want to be like a changer, you can also act how you can act, how you want to act. But be focused, this is a minimal thing that everyone can do.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Beautifully put. Thank you so much for your time today. Thank you.